Vince McMahon has taken the phrase "don't cross the boss" to ridiculous lengths in WWE storylines, but equally so in real life. Here are 9 situations where wrestlers had to fork over cash for getting on Vince McMahon's bad side. Number 1. The $5,000 hug. Titus O'Neil quickly found out that Vince McMahon doesn't like impromptu public displays of affection aimed at him, particularly when it involves a burly WWE superstar grabbing him from behind and trying to hug him. Titus O'Neil found this out when he got caught up in the moment during Daniel Bryan's 2016 retirement ceremony on Monday Night Raw. O'Neil reportedly was going for a hug and grabbed Vince McMahon's arm, drawing the boss's wrath. O'Neil's attempted hug earned him a 90-day suspension, later reduced to 60 days, and cost him $5,000. Perhaps worst of all, O'Neil had been enjoying an undefeated streak, only to see it end with a loss to Adam Rose. Number 2. Brian Knobbs' $7,000 flatulence fine. Given his part in a team known as the Nasty Boys, it should come as no surprise that Brian Knobbs could engage in rude behavior. According to wrestler Lanny Poffo, Knobbs was always trying to earn his Nasty Boy name, and on one occasion, it cost him $7,000. Wrestling lore has it that Knobbs let loose with a loud burst of intestinal gas, unaware that the First Lady of Professional Wrestling, Miss Elizabeth, was standing right behind him, along with her overprotective husband, Macho Man Randy Savage. An irate Savage reportedly said, "How dare you do that in front of my wife?" Rather than delivering a flying elbow smash off the ticket counter, Savage sent Elizabeth home and called Vince McMahon, demanding satisfaction. McMahon calmed Savage down, fined Knobbs $7,000 for a fart, and managed to get Elizabeth back in time for the international tour. Number 3. Bills for bad language. Longtime WWE fans still remember the hard-edged character that made John Cena so popular with the fans before the WWE toned him down into a kid-friendly hero. Thus, Cena's come a long way from slapping Stephanie's ass on television to getting fined for using the word ass during a promo against CM Punk. Considering all the money that Cena makes from his merchandise, the fine was likely a drop in the proverbial bucket. Number 4. Dress for success or else. When they're not bludgeoning their opponents to death, Vince McMahon wants his WWE superstars to dress to impress, showing that they are more than just murderous men and women hell-bent on mayhem. Apparently, this dates back decades, as WWE Hall of Famers King Kong Bundy and Road Warrior Animal were threatened with big money penalties for dressing inappropriately. Were the two big men dressed in tutus? No, Bundy allegedly wore shorts, while Animal had the audacity to wear jeans during a long flight. Thus, wrestlers are expected to conform to the promotion's dress code when they are traveling from and to an arena. For example, Rey Mysterio, Devon Dudley and several other stars found themselves fined $500 for failing to adhere to the company's dress code. In a 2016 interview, former WWE ring announcer Lillian Garcia discussed the dress policy's origins. What happened was, after a while, there was the, "Oh okay, we'll dress casually but nice, we're traveling," and that kind of thing. Then the guys started coming with cut-off shorts, obnoxious comments on t-shirts and stuff, and that was when Vince McMahon was like, "That's it, you guys represent this brand of WWE. We call you superstars, but you're not dressing as a superstar." He said, "Once you leave the house, you're representing the brand. Then through the airport, anywhere you're traveling, wherever, I want you to be dressing up nicely." And the guys definitely, and the girls, whatever, were like, "What?" Because we kept saying, "Alright, I totally get it, I always look nice." But like for the females, we dressed in high heel shoes and whatever, and we're driving like 2,300 miles. And I drove by myself a lot. So I'm thinking, holy crap, what if something happens to me on the side of the road, and I'm dressed like a little, However, the dress policy could get downright ridiculous, as enhancement talent Johnny the Bull found out. Stamboli was travelling on a bus at 3 AM when he made the mistake of wearing a bowler hat, which was part of his gimmick, incurring a $500 fine. Interesting enough, the WWE tweaked its dress code in 2016 to allow superstars to either wear business casual attire or to wear tap-out brand athletic apparel. Obviously done to promote the WWE's business relationship with Tap Out. Number 5. cash for chair shots. While fans would likely agree the days of wrestlers taking repeated chair shots to the head is deservedly done within the WWE, the company has taken things to the extreme opposite direction, fining wrestlers for blasting each other in the head with chairs, even if it's one time. No one is safe from this role, whether it's Vince's son-in-law Triple H or Vince McMahon's much-respected Undertaker, as seen after their WrestleMania 27 match. The WWE's corporate website proclaimed, "Superstars fined for chair shot. Pursuant to WWE's concussion policy, the stunt of using a folded metal chair shot to the head is prohibited. Triple H and The Undertaker have both been fined for violating this policy at WrestleMania 27. WWE penalizes through fine and or suspension for violation of this policy, which is unchanged and still in effect." Both men blasted each other in the head with a chair during their brutal Hell in a Cell match at the Showcase of the Immortals. The WWE has been wary of being seen as endorsing chair shots to the head ever since the Sports Legacy Institute's findings concerning its examination of Chris Benoit's brain. In 2007, ABC News reported, "The test conducted by Julian Bales of the Sports Legacy Institute showed that Benoit's brain was so severely damaged it resembled the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient." With some believing the 40-year-old Benoit taking the life of his wife, son and his own were caused or at least influenced by his concussions, the WWE took steps to scale back its use of chair shots to the head. They've officially stated, "The WWE has a limited use of folding metal chairs to strike an opponent in the head. The WWE penalizes through fine and or suspension in the following: the intentional use of a folding metal chair to strike an opponent in the head, any blow to the head that is deemed an intentional act. The fine and or suspension will be directed by the EVP of Talent Relations." This was seen again in 2013 when Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton exchanged chair shots in a street fight during an episode of Raw in 2013. Triple H commented on the situation in his role as WWE COO, "We don't allow chair shots to the head in WWE. We understand it was in the heat of the moment, but we take this very seriously, and as a result, Orton and Bryan were fined." In 2003, Triple H explained the reason for the policy, noting that the WWE roster went through 25 concussions out of 150 wrestlers in 2011, but by 2012, that number dropped to 11. Helmsley explained a change in the policy. "With us, we're making brands, and we're making stars, and those stars are the most important thing we have. We can't just go buy a second string John Cena and have them be on the show." Number 6. Bucks for blood. While the Ruthless Aggression era saw the WWE tone down its more adult storylines, it continued to use blood. Over time, however, the WWE eliminated blood from its matches, both for health reasons and for promoting a family-friendly product where wrestlers pummeled one another, crashed cars into each other, but never drew blood. However, this wasn't the only time the WWE had a no-blood policy, as the promotion scaled back the use of blood at times during the Rock and Wrestling era. One such match involved Ric Flair defending the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 8 against Randy Savage. During the match, Flair bladed, incurring a hefty fine from Vince McMahon. Flair was caught red-handed, literally and figuratively, while Bret Hart drew blood without being fined, blaming the incident on a hardware shot. That same night, Bret Hart bladed during his title match with Intercontinental Champion Roddy Piper. But Hart pulled off the move so smoothly, no one knew it was a blade job. Hart discussed the dual blade jobs with different results in his memoir Hitman. Little did we know that Flair and Randy, who went on right after us, had secretly planned to get juiced too. Flair was so obvious as he cut himself repeatedly that when he came back with several long bloody cat scratches on his forehead, an angry Vince fined them each $500 for blading. He never said a word to me because he thought mine was legit. In 2008, Batista defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Jericho in a steel cage match. Batista allegedly wanted to show some colour to make the match more memorable and gambled the WWE wouldn't fine him much for violating its no-blood policy. Sadly for the animal, the WWE thought otherwise, fining him $100,000 for breach of rules. This is said to be part of the reason Batista eventually left the WWE. Another occasion saw CM Punk fined after he bled during a cage match against Jerry the King Lawler on Raw in 2012. Punk claims the blood was a result of a hardware shot rather than blading, and tweeted he'd be fined $500,000 for the incident. Number 7. Green for grass. Although the WWE's wellness policy is well documented, its policy concerning marijuana is just as strict, with Vince McMahon fining wrestlers for sparking up a fatty. To no one's surprise, RVD led the pack with frequent fines for lighting up. Since the WWE imposes a higher amount for subsequent infractions, there may be truth to the story that Van Dam left the WWE due to his frustrations with being fined for smoking weed. Other wrestlers who dished out dollars for doobies included Brian Kendrick and MVP. It will be interesting to see how the WWE handles things should recreational marijuana be legalized in the United States. Number 8. Dollars for dawdling. Wrestling may seem like a cushy job with performers only working a short schedule, but as true fans know, there's more than showing up for your match and performing. Whether it's an episode of Raw or a pay-per-view, WWE superstars are expected to arrive long before the show starts and to stay until the last match airs. There are several reasons for this, with arguably the most important being because the highly scripted events can change at a moment's notice, and WWE agents want wrestlers nearby should things change. Thus, late wrestlers can be fined, something D'Lo Brown found out during a show in South Africa. After getting on a bus late, D'Lo arrived 15 minutes late and was shocked when he learned he was being fined 10,000 Rand. Fortunately, this only amounted to $10, less than $1 for every minute he was late. And number 9. Banknotes for bailing out. 2000 saw Stone Cold Steve Austin walk out on the WWE after he was asked to put Brock Lesnar over on Raw with no build-up, something Austin saw as giving away a marquee match for free. Proving his prowess as a prophet as well as a main eventer, Austin had grown tired with the WWE's direction and decided to get out while the getting was good. While Austin and the WWE came to terms, it came with a price, as Vince McMahon levied a $250,000 fine on the Texas Rattlesnake. By one account, McMahon wanted to fine Austin $650,000, but Austin likely would have stayed away. Well guys, there you have it. 9 situations where wrestlers had to fork over cash for getting on Vince McMahon's bad side. Are there any you think were well deserved? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.